Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. My name is Sha'ina Roshaizat with matrix number 271985. So now, me and my teammates are going to present our speech analysis with the title Why You Should Talk to Strangers, and we are from group 7. For the first question, how does the speaker gain attention and interest of the audience? According to Stephen E. Lucas of the 13th edition of The Art of Public Speaking, there are 8 methods that can be used to gain audience attention. So the first one is to relate the topic with the audience. Second is to state the importance of the topic. Third is to startle the audience. Fourth is to arouse the curiosity of the audience. Fifth is to question the audience. Sixth, to begin with a quotation. Seventh is to tell a story. And last but not least, use visual aids. Based on the speech, the speaker gain attention of the audience by first relating the topics to the audience by mentioning the things that we do in our daily life. For second, the speaker gain attention by arousing their curiosity by making the audience wonder what was the thing that she had mentioned about before. Lastly, she gained the audience attention by telling a story about her own experience with a stranger. Question number 2, does the speaker establish his or her credibility? Yes, the speaker did establish her credibility. Based on Stephen A. Lucas from the 30th edition of The Art of Public Speaking, credibility is the audience's perceptions of whether the speaker is qualified to speak on a given topic. Based on this speech, the speaker did establish her credibility by first mentioning that she had done some documentation on her experience with the strangers. Second, the speaker did establish more of her credibility by telling her own experience with a stranger. Lastly, she established her credibility by did some research about the topic before the speech. Third question, does the speaker preview the body of speech? No, the speaker didn't preview her body of speech. According to Stephen E. Lucas from the 30th edition of The Art of Public Speaking, the speaker must ensure the audience get an idea about the main point they should listen to during the speech. Since the speech organizational method is topical order, the speaker mentioned the main point of the speech one at a time, including the elaboration. This means that the speaker didn't preview her body of speech.
Now I would like to present question 4 until question 6. For question 4, what is the main point of the speech? There are 3 main points in the speech. The first main point is the benefits to using our senses instead of our fears is that liberate us. The speaker feels that using perception instead of category is much easier said than done. The second main point is talk about the benefits to using our senses instead of our fear has to do with intimacy. The speaker knows quick interaction can lead to a feeling that sociologists call fleeting intimacy, although it sounds a little counterintuitive, intimacy and strangers. The third main point shows the ways to talk to strangers. The speaker had been figured out a few ways to talk to the strangers. Next, move to the question 5. Question 5 is about how the main point are supported and elaborate it with the examples. The first main point is supported by the testimony. Testimony is a quotation or paraphrase that used to support a point. The speaker cited the views of researchers when the researchers traveling frequently in Central Asia and Africa alone. The second main point is supported by the examples. Example is a specific case used to illustrate or represent a group of people, ideas and conditions, experiences or the like. There are 2 examples. The first one is the extended example. The speaker tells a story based on her own experience from being saved by the man. The second one is the brief example. The speaker tells the listeners about a story, a studies of researchers have been reported in the media with a great lemons. The third main point is supported by the brief example and the extended example too. For extended example, the speaker tells the listeners about different countries have different rules when talking with the strangers. For the brief example, the speaker also gives some specific cases about the ways to talk to the strangers when the rules is breaking a bit. Next, move to the question 6. The question 6 is about what is the type of organizations does the speaker use? The type of organizations that the speaker use is the topical order. Topical order is a method of a speech organization in which the main points is divided the topic into a consistent and logical subtopic. In our speech, the topic is why you should talk to the strangers, and it is divided the main point into 3 logical and consistent subtopics, which are 2 huge benefits to using our senses instead of our fears, and the other ones is the ways to talk to the strangers.
So today I'm going to present from question 7 until question 9. So question 7 is about the resource of the language. Okay, the speaker used the language clearly, vividly, and accurately. The speaker used the language clearly to let her audience can understand the speech easily. Okay, under this, she used familiar words, concrete words, and she eliminates the clutters. Alright, next, the speaker used the language vividly to let her speech to be more interesting. Alright, so under this, she used imagery and repetition. Alright, next is about the speaker also used the language accurately to let her speech to be more effective. So under this, she used formal language. She avoided the use of fan language. She used language that is suitable, that is appropriate to the topic, language that is appropriate to the speaker, and she used inclusive language also. Alright, so let's move on to question 8. Okay. Question 8 is about the type of connective that the speaker used. There are 2 types of connective that the speaker used in the speech. Okay, the first one is transition and the second one is the signpost. Transition is an indicate movement of one idea to another new idea, while the signpost is where the speaker focuses attention on the main ideas. For example, the second reason is like that. Okay, so are the connectives are used ineffectively? Yes, because the speaker used the connective almost for all of her main points and under her sub main points like that. So it is considered as effectively. Alright, next is about question 9. Question 9 is about types of reasoning that the speaker relied on. Okay, in the speech, the speaker used the reasoning from specific instance, which is she relied the most on this. Alright, so the reasoning from the specific instance is the reasoning which moves from the specific situation into a general conclusion. So which means that the general conclusion will be drawn by the speaker with the support of the specific facts. Okay, so under this, the speaker does not use it very obviously because the speaker she did give her main points and her facts to support her main points, but lastly she didn't draw any conclusion. She didn't draw a conclusion general conclusion for all of these, the main points and the supporting facts. But still it is relatable to the audience, although the speaker does not draw the conclusion.
Question 10. What type of emotional appeals are used in the speech, and how effective was it? Emotional appeals are intended to make the listeners feel the emotions. The speaker uses emotionally charged language and emotional-laden words, as I've highlighted in the slides. The words beautiful, poetic, really profound experiences, weird, wonderful, warm, good feeling being said from the dark trap of the storm drain actually emotes the emotion felt by the speaker towards the audiences. Next, using vivid examples grows naturally out of the content flow to make it imaginable and memorable towards the audience. The speaker uses the lines like somebody from a movie. Glance at each other. These are actually communicating the emotions by using examples so that the audience can relate themselves to it. Next, speaking with sincerity and conviction can emotionally appeal the audience. As I have highlighted in my slides, in the line, "This gets reported in the media," I think it entirely misses the point. She is pointing out the mistake by generating curiosity out of the audiences. In the next line, "I listen. I get all kinds of stories. I started documenting my experiences." In this, she is establishing the interest out of the audience to know her better. Emotional appeal is effectively used in the speech. It is appropriate to the topic, did not substitute emotional appeals for the evidence, and reasoning speech was ethically presented. It could make the audience feel encouraged and talk to strangers. Next, question number 11. What are the methods used to prepare the audience for the ending of the speech? She used a brief verbal cue by stating that, "So here it is." This is indicating that the speech is going to end. Next, the manner of delivery. The speaker used her tone, pace, and gesture to indicate that she is approaching towards the end of her speech. It started to build up to a zenith power and intensity, urging audience to take initiatives. For example, in her speech, she said, "Beautiful interruptions, unexpected connections. You're missing out on all of that. What would happen if we spend more time teaching ourselves? We could reject all the ideas that makes us so suspicious. We could make space for a change." She is actually urging the audience to take a step forward to make friends by themselves, which is what the speech is intended to. Question 12. How does the speaker reinforces the central idea? The speaker devises her own dramatic statements, such as what is highlighted. "I tell them the whole truth, and they share their own experiences of loss. We make the disclosure with disclosure, even with strangers." These kinds of lines are actually sentimental dramatization, which makes the audience feel the emotions and relate themselves to that. Next, she uses the summarization of the speech. She takes all the points in her speech and puts them in a line to summarize the whole speech to reinforce the central idea. Next, she directly appeals to the audience for action. The highlighted lines in the slides says that we spend a lot of time teaching. If we spend more time teaching ourselves, we could reject all the ideas. We could make a space for change. She is directly appealing to the audience to make a change, to go forward, to talk to strangers, which is what the speech is intended to. Thank you.